The Class 180 is a complex, state-of-the-art, high-speed Class 180. Those drivers who've already been trained to operate these new trains have found them to be efficient. Problems and some failures, sometimes due to a lack of total familiarity, other times to unexpected lack of total familiarity. In this short briefing programme, we'll look at some of the common faults and how to rectify them, and in some cases, how to prevent them happening. Problems can often begin throughout the mobilisation procedure correctly. So let's start by going through that routine and looking at some of the pitfalls. As you all know, you start the mobilisation procedure from the back cab. If the train is electrically dead, you'll be going nowhere. Once in the cab, get into the habit of making a clockwise check, starting behind the right-hand seat. Press the auxiliary set button. Now over to the right-hand side wall and check all the key isolation switches are in the vertical position. Also the emergency brake button. Check the safety systems panel. The top 3 indicators should be lit. Now move across to the driving position on the left side. Check that the combined power brake controller is in the combined power brake controller and that the adjacent emergency brake button is in the emergency brake button. Check that all MCBs on the back wall panel are set. Now put your key in and select the neutral position on the F&R switch. Reset the AWS. And press the engine start button for 5 seconds. Forget that you must leave at least 30 seconds between setting the auxiliaries and setting the auxiliaries. Glance over to the safety systems panel. All 4 indicators should now be lit. However, this may take up to 9 seconds. If the bottom one is still out, check the uncouple button on the driving desk. If it's lit, it means it's lit. If it doesn't, check that the passenger alarm has been activated. Now, there's a little trap for the unwary here. Sometimes the catering crew will use an external green emergency egress handle to gain access to the train and reset it. So, when you walk to the other end, check all the green handles. If necessary, you can now turn the SDO switch and release the train doors on the platform side. Now turn the F&R switch to off, remove your key and go to the cab at the other end. While you're walking to the other end, you might hear that one of the engines isn't running. If time is available, try to restart it by pressing the local engine start button in the 3901 cupboard. It's next to the A2 door. Forget to press the all engine start when you get to the driving cab. Once in the front cab, start by checking exactly the same things as you did in the back cab. Now put your key in and move the F&R switch to neutral at the same time as pressing the ATP on button. Reset the AWS, then do your ATP setup, your radio setup, and log on to the TMS. You may need to shut an engine down locally at the 3901 cupboard. Use the local engine trip button, it can cause crossfeed problems. If an engine shuts down due to a cooler group fault, engine shuts down again. Don't forget to press the all engine start when you get back to the driving cab. If you don't, the engine you restarted will just idle. If the door release buttons don't light up when you press them, check that you press them. If you can't maintain proper main reservoir air pressure, go. Toilets aboard the Class 180 have a burst or similar defect in any toilet can result in a loss of main reservoir air pressure. If a call for aid alarm won't reset, go. If the train manager reports complaints from passengers that the heating is excessive in any one coach, isolate this one or any other colour cocks in this area. If an earth leakage MCB is tripped and you couple to another unit, the fault will be transferred to that unit. If it trips when you couple to another unit, if an earth leakage MCB is tripped. Here's a little misunderstanding that's caught drivers out. When you press the talk back button on the communications panel, you expect the button to light. It doesn't. It's fault. It's designed to light up. There has been some confusion over the clearing of faults on the TMS after initial boot up. Remember that each fault has to be cleared separately, one by one. Do this by pressing the F1 key. If smoke or steam is seen or reported as coming from under one of the coaches and the fire system is activated, it's important not to stay calm and to overreact. Don't evacuate the passengers unnecessarily, especially in an unsafe location. Class 180 is a complex, state-of-the-art, high-speed Class 180. Those drivers who've already been trained to operate these new trains have found them to be efficient. Problems.